Hey there, and welcome to another class. My name is Black, and this is Star Citizen Academy. This is the third class so far, and in today's class we're going to talk about contracts and how to start making some money as a new player. So let's go ahead and hit F1. It's going to bring up our mobiGlas. We're going to go down here to contracts at the bottom. And so what we've got here are various contracts. We're hoping that they update the contract screen this year. I don't know if it's in the cards or not because it's not the easiest to get around. In fact, let's see. Yeah, okay. It's not the easiest to get around. So, and sometimes it can like freeze up on you, or it can just be a little, a lot of scrolling. So what we're looking for, we're going to be looking for hauling contracts. There's also delivery. We're going to do a regular hauling contract first, and I'll discuss those because these are going to be non-combat. The delivery one can possibly be combat, even though it'll be easy. So let me tell you what you're looking for when you choose these. So you're going to have a couple of different, maybe 2 or 3 different types of hauling, but at first you may only have 1 or 2 like we have here. You have hauling regular, which is what we're going to do, and then there's stellar, which is going to be across the whole of Stanton. So if you go to your map, F2, and zoom out, this is the station we're on. Keep zooming. Okay. So if you just do regular hauling actually they're called something else. They're not called, we haven't opened them up yet, but there are some that are just, I think it's planetary. So you would just get ArcCorp and the moons around ArcCorp, right? But if you go out to this view, this is all of Stanton. That's what the stellar ones are. They'll take you anywhere to here to there. And those are generally supposed to pay more than just the other ones. They're going to take a little bit longer, but they should pay a little bit more. And, and those are going to be good all of these are really going to be good to get you associated with the different locations that you will be flying to throughout the game. Hauling contracts are a great way to practice flying, landing, getting to know your locations, and things like that. So I highly recommend doing hauling contracts, even if you're ready to get into combat and other things. Hauling contracts are really going to boost those basic skills that you really need for the game. So let's go ahead, get back to the contract. I'm going to choose a hauling. So a lot of the different mission types that you're going to do, whether it's mercenary, salvage, whatever, they're going to have these intro quests, right? So we're going to click on this one. It says new haulers. They're going to pay us $46,000, but they want us to be able to handle 4 SU cargo. So this is going to be the very first limitation that I'm going to have because the ship that I'm currently using can only haul 2 SCU containers. Now, if you have a Titan or anything bigger like a Cutlass or whatever, this is not going to affect you. But if you have a smaller ship, like you may have the Intrepid, or you may have, I think the Cutter can, I believe, handle 4 SCUs, but you could also do 2 just to be safe. But I have the Clipper, and the Clipper can only handle 2 SCU boxes, so I can't do this very first one. So I will need to try, let's see if I can do one of these. So I have junior rank small cargo here. That one says 4 SU, see in blue there. That one says 8 SU. I definitely couldn't do that one. Maybe they're extra small that I'm looking for. It's been a while since I've done these. Okay. Oh, here's one that's 1 SU. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take this one here. I'm going to just take it and accept it. If you're in a group, you can hit share. And if anything goes wrong, you can abandon it. Like if for whatever reason the boxes weren't there when you go there, that it can happen. I don't see it happen that often anymore, but it's possible. I'll show you something else too later on. So let's say you only get 8 of 10 for whatever reason. Maybe the elevator eats 2 of them or something. They just go poof, they disappear, right? You can still get credit for what you do because there would be a submit button down here. You're only going to see the submit button if you actually submit something. It could be half, maybe you get partial credit, whatever. But if the mission messes up for whatever reason, always check here to see if there's a submit button. Anyway, I've accepted it. I'm going to track it, so it'll show up on my map, and I'm going to get into my ship. So let's do that. Now, while these are long form videos, if there's any sort of like long travel and I don't really have anything to discuss, I will edit that. So that'll be the only edit you'll see in these videos. I will try to at least bring the time down on these if I can. But overall, these are meant to be show as you go classes here. You know, the one thing I forgot to do. Let me get out of my seat real quick. Before you can do these missions, you have to be prepared, right? So, get out of my seat. Mission prep is everything in this game. It really is, and that's like the cardinal rule here that I just broke. All right, let me hit I. Okay, so for cargo missions, you're gonna want a tractor beam, like 100%. You can get this big tractor beam, and I showed you how to get that in the last video. But you can have a hand tractor beam as well. You can have one or the other. If you're going to do bigger boxes, definitely get that one. But to start off with, this big tractor beam may be overkill. But I have a small one here with me, and I know that because I am hovering over my multi-tool. And if you hover over this part down here, it shows you the actual attachment. You can also, let me hit 5. You can also hit that, and it says tractor as well. You can hold K. I'm sorry, not hold K. Push K. Is it K? Which one is it? It was one of those. J. It's J. Sorry. You can push J, and you can actually go through. You can click different things. You can scroll through here, and then if you have different things attached, this works with weapons as well. So hitting J when you have a weapon will allow you to attach like scopes, or down here you can put a flashlight on there if it allows you. You know, I've never tried to put a flashlight on the bottom of this multi-tool. That might be handy. Let's just see if I can do that. Hold on. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Sorry, that's a little sidetrack here. Let me get back down real quick. Because that would be really cool. I have never thought of that. I've never hit J with my tractor beam. I usually just double click it in my inventory to do attachments. I was just thinking about it. That's part of this class, you know. It's thinking of things as it happens. All right, let me see. I think I have a flashlight in here. Unless I don't. I think it's under weapons. I have a scope. I think I put the flashlight on my weapon. Let me see. Weapon, hit J. I guess I didn't bring one. I thought I did. Okay. Alright. Anyway, if I do find a flashlight later, because it's possible, we'll find one in places we go. Yeah, I don't have it. Interesting. Alright, anyway, sidetrack. Sorry about that. Let's get back on the ship. Remember, some ships have multiple entrances. This one happens to have an elevator and the ramp. Once we get out to the location and I'm actually getting the box and I'm loading it, I'll try to explain so you can see the size. For you, your first mission, you should take one that's either 1 or 2, just to be safe. And then I'll show you what you're looking for to see if yours can take 4 or not. All right, let's go ahead and call our hangar. Turn our engines on. All right, lift off a little bit. Okay. It's like, come on, hangar doors, need you to open a little bit wider there so I can get out. Alright, put my landing gear down now that I'm out. A couple weeks ago, maybe it was last week, I was with our group on Friday nights, and somebody was like, these runways out here, why do they have them? They're stupid. I've never used them. And I was like, you know what? I use them all the time. And the reason is because at some of these stations, when you're leaving, the map doesn't want to give you coordinates unless you're far enough away. And these kind of let you know that you're far enough away if you get to the end of this. If you get to the end of this runway here, you should be good to put in your coordinates for your map after you get near the end. Because some stations are a little picky. Like they don't want to give you they don't want to let you select your destination on your map until you're far enough away. Many people forget that. They're just like, oh, stupid map's bugged. No, there's just something about certain stations. I don't know if it was something they intended to do for all stations, because some you don't have to do that with. Just like some stations, especially the ones that are over the planets, when you go to leave those, sometimes none of the jump points will come up, whether you have coordinates mapped in or not, routed or anything. Like they won't come up unless you first look at the center of the planet and you'll see the planet icon and jump to that first, and then all of a sudden the things open up. Microtech is one of those that's like that. I think Hurston's like that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and set our coordinates. Be careful when you're flying out there too, around these Lagrange point stations, because they have lots of asteroids. You can't just like free fly. All right. So when you zoom out of your map here, there's two ways you can do this. You can either select deliver shipment here, or maybe it's collect. Sorry, we're collecting. And your route could show up over here on this side. That could be one way you could do it. You could also read your mission, contract. I'm giving you both of these ways in case something doesn't work. So this one here, it doesn't tell you a direct. Oh, it does say. It says collect carbon from Beijing Point. So you could go into your map. My ports are unlocked. I need to lock them. You go into your map and you could just type in Beijing Point as well, because a lot of these you're going to be picking up from a station, or you're going to be picking up from a safe ground locations, and picking up, dropping off. That's all these are. This is just space trucker stuff here. All right. We've got our coordinates mapped. Oh, that's deliver, sorry. Beijing is over here. And let me go ahead and turn my ports. Let me lock them again. I believe that is your left Alt and K. All right, and we're go. Push and hold the mouse, and we go. All right, we have landed. Or not landed, but arrived at the first part. Let's get to the station. Like I said, I don't know if I believe I discussed my half speed approach basically. So once you get about, I say, so like right now we're going really fast. I need to slow it down. But you want your speeds to be half. So if it's like 10 kilometers away, you want to be going 500 and not 800 like I am. If you're going too fast, quickly reverse and punch your boosters. So like turn your ship around, punch your boosters like that, and you'll see your speed drop faster that way. Okay, let's turn back around now. Sometimes you can come in a little hot. All right, we're like right here now. So I'm gonna keep my speed at around 250 or so. Go ahead and call the hangar. Yeah, I came in way too fast. That was how not to come in. All right. So otherwise, I could have either bounced right off the dish, and when I say bounce, I mean crash. Hangar request. Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, it's way over here. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be inside the ring. I haven't done one of these in a while. These are what we call pull-in hangars, not drop-down. We did a drop-down last time. Video 1, I showed you how to set your camera coordinates, if that helps. It's a very important tip. I had some of my veteran players who didn't really know that, so it's very helpful. Camera views are like, I hardly see anybody do them either. And to me, it's like one of my favorite things. I have certain camera views set for like whenever I'm mining or picking up cargo with other players or whatever, so I can have views so I know where to back up at and stuff. All right, I landed sideways like this on purpose, so my cargo could be right there in front of the cargo elevator. So you can position your ship inside, however, to make it easier for loading and unloading your cargo. Go ahead and don't forget to hit F1 and refuel. Didn't go very far, but still, every little bit. Remembering, do any repairs or whatever if there's any. Remembering to refuel is going to save you, because you can easily. I'll go ahead and go out the cargo part. I did land right? I hope I landed facing right. I think I did. Okay. All right. And so here is my cargo bed. I love this ship, but I do wish the cargo would allow for 4 SU boxes, because I don't expect it to have a lot, but 4 SU would have been nice. See, mine is too narrow, and the ramp isn't quite open enough here to allow 4 SU boxes. 4 SU boxes would fit. I'd have to, they would fit right here, because this right here, That's basically the size of one box right there. Not all cargoes have like little sections like this, but that right there is one SCU. Together, that would be a 2 SCU box, and then a 1x4 area here would be 4. So they would fit, and I could easily put like 3. Maybe I could probably put like at least 4 of those boxes, definitely 3, if they would allow it to fit through the mouth there, but they just don't. So, all right. So what you do whenever you have a hauling contract, these are easy. You just come over to these elevators if you're a freight manager once you've landed. There's also external ones we'll be doing. So I'll show you where those are as well. But anyway, send the elevator down. This is going to be your mission right here. Junior rank, that's what it is. You're going to drag this over, bring it up. Alright, there's our stuff. Get out your tractor beam. I have 10 SCU, which on my ship I think holds like around, I think I can get like 14 SCU, maybe 13. So yeah. Alright. I'll speed this up. Alright, we're now all loaded. Make sure everything's off. Yep, don't see anything else. Okay. Now let's put our gun away, holding R. Close this. Alright, let's go ahead and call for our hangar. Turn our engines on. All the good stuff. Pre-flight checks, all that stuff. I need to get a drink whenever I get to where I'm going, because my fluids are a little low. Alright. There we go. Let's fly out of here. Alright, you can see the icon right there. And sometimes you can just point at it and it'll let you jump. Sometimes it doesn't, because there could be multiple jumps. That's why it's not going to let you. So, scroll out, hit deliver shipment now. It's going to route us. Looks like this one's going to Microtech. Okay. I didn't even look at that before. It's going to Port Tressler. So we're going station to station. We're not even going to have to land on this one. All right. And once again, I will fast forward through this. All right. We have arrived. Let's go ahead and follow the OMs to get around the planet. And I think I've mentioned this before, but the planets, they do revolve, they rotate and stuff. So every time you come in, you could come in on a different side of the planet. So you have to use the orbital markers to get around the OMs. All right, you're coming in for the landing. See if we can do it better this time. Yeah, my speed isn't all the way up. I usually stick to around 500 to 600, when I'm coming in like this, because you can still, depending on the ship, I will say that, depending on the ship, some ships slow down easier. So I'm coming in, around 500 now. You see we're 13 out. Once I hit 10 out, I want to make sure I'm under 500, which I am. 8 out, I'll start dropping it down to 400, 7, then once when you get to 700, you can back off the speed and just call real quick. All right, but again, now that we're under 5, I don't want to really be over 250. Just to get used to it. Once once you're comfortable flying, which these missions will get you there. Because as you can see, we've already made 2 landings on this. So you definitely start getting your practice in. However you want to fly, put my landing gear up. Yeah, this one has wings that stick up, so I definitely want to look at that. Okay, everything's good. Coming on in, and I land. Do a quick landing real quick, and then I position myself. The quick landing will start the doors closing and allow whoever, if somebody's waiting in a queue, you want to get those doors closing so whoever's waiting next to get in, if they're in a queue because it gets busy, um, you know, it gets the process going for them. So it's one of those courteous things. All right, F1 refuel. Yeah, see, we had 2K that time. We were not going to get very far with this ship. The ship's fuel tank is pretty small, so yes, I can go across Stanton pretty well. Don't know about Pyro, but Stanton, yes. All right. Let me sit here real quick. I'm gonna hit I. I'm going to take my helmet off this way um, instead of using the key binding that holds the helmet. Last night I was out with my wife and I used the key binding and my helmet dropped and I didn't realize it. I was trying to put it back on, it wasn't there. So if that happens to you because you used the key binding, just look around the ground to see. It's a new thing, so of course issues can pop up. All right, I'm gonna hit carry. There's my drink. All right, I will put my cup here to be nice. All right, put my helmet back on. Yeah, this is the old way we would do it. Instead of using a shortcut, we would just put the helmet in our backpack and then drag it back on. That's the safe way. All right, so let's go unload. If I was going to be heavy into cargo, this would not be the ship that I would use as my little main ship. But this character, and the reason I'm doing missions on this character is because I don't have a lot unlocked on this one. I don't have any rep. I don't have, because this character doesn't do that kind of stuff. My other character, my other account, it actually will do. Yeah, because I'm sorry, I don't mean to suggest you can have multiple characters on one account. It's one character per account for now. That is something they could change later. I believe I've heard they possibly will do that later on, but it's not anything they're currently working on. But I have multiple accounts, not for that reason. I have multiple accounts because there were things I wanted to do. Of course, I have kind of like a streaming type account where I've discussed this before. I have many ships on that one because I did ship reviews at one point. And then I have my main character account, and that's the one I do like. I kind of play for real on that one. Like I do a lot of FPS on that one. That one's a scavenger, so I have the salvage ships on that one. My main account, my main streaming account that has all the ships, that's the one that has the mining ships. So that one does the mining. All right. If your boxes can get stuck in there like that, try moving. Try just. Sometimes they kind of get sandwiched in, so just move a box next to it. But yeah. So I basically, this is my little Zero to Hero account. This is the one that I don't want any money on. I don't really want. I just want to be able to live off the land and see what I can do. So if there's moments like that, I want to play like that. This is the account I choose. If I'm going to salvage or do some FPS, I do my other one, and then of course, if I'm doing stuff with the group and we need a certain ship, then I pick up my other one, or mining, of course. I will say there's some great new missions for mining and salvaging. If that's a career path you want to go on, that's how you want to set up your account, whether you're buying ships in game or, maybe you want to have mining. If mining or salvaging is going to be your thing, you may want to look at upgrading your starter package to something that deals with mining to get you started. And now they have tracks, so you can get. When I say track, I mean like it's a leveling track. So if you want to be a miner, there's a starter mining ship. It's called the Golem, and it actually comes with it as a starter pack as well. So you could get that. Okay, I think that's everything. You could get that, and then in game you could earn money to buy the next mining ship, which would be the Prospector or the Fortune is the other one. I think and then maybe you want to do the mining ship after that, which holds more and has more lasers and stuff, and that's the mole, and you can do that one. And then it goes, and then it's going to go up to another one after that, but that ship's not out yet. All right, come over to your freight elevator manager. Make sure everything's on there. It was for 10 SCU. That's what we have. Let me show you the submit button. I'm going to take one off. Let me take one off. I'm just going to leave it over here. We'll be rude. We're going to leave it. All right, I'm going to submit 9. So we got 9. I'm going to send those down. It's like, oh, you only have 9 of 10. I'm sorry. Confirm. Now on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the mission change. It's going to go, it's going to say deliver 1, I think, or 9 of 10. There it is. So we still have 1 left. We know it's right there, but let's just say it was missing, right? You come over to your contract, and you would hit the submit button right there, and that would complete it. I'll just do it. You still get paid. You completed it. All right. So you're like, oh, great. Yeah, see, I got 42,000. So it did prorate the amount at least, you know. So, all right. So what does that mean, right? So what that means is as you're doing those contracts, as you're doing those different cargo contracts, we do have reputation. So Covalex here, it could be Covalex or it could be Red Wind Line Haul. It's one of those. But basically, you're going to work, as you do missions, you're going to fill in these bars, and it's going to go take you all the way up. As you fill these in, you're going to get more contracts. So, you know, which one was that one we just did? You can look at your history here, and you can see over here on the contract, it says Covalex. So that was Covalex rep we just got. Go back to the rep. So Covalex. So I have done a few missions with hauling for this character because I think I had 0 money when I started off. And so I did work through the rookie and a little bit into junior now. Rookie's really easy to get through. It's only like maybe 5 or 6 missions, maybe 7. Junior is going to be harder. It scales up. So as you get up to member, that's going to probably take 20, 30 missions or whatever it's going to take until you get all the way up to master. The good news is that you don't have to upgrade your ship unless you want to. You're still going to be able to do small or very small missions if that's all you can do until you can buy another ship in game, and those missions are still going to give you the same amount of rep basically. The bigger ones may give you more, but you're still going to be able to keep moving. It's not going to take you a lot more extra to do it. Let's look at the missions now. Go over here. So I think I only have stellar missions because my rep's so low, but if my rep was higher, I would have interstellar, so I could take stuff from this system to Pyro or to Nyx or whatever, right? But you see we have 40 missions in Stellar. Like, that's a lot. Even though I can't do a lot of these because I don't have a ship big enough to do that. But we're here at Tressler. Hold on a second. All right. We're here at Tressler. So let's say you've got some money. Let's see, how much money do I have right now? I don't have much. I have 295,000. You have another option that you can do when it comes to ships. If you don't have, like, if you have a small ship, but you'd like to maybe spend the day doing some bigger cargo hauling, or maybe you want to try some mining. Let me take you over to where you can rent ships, because that is a thing. You can rent ships by the day, by the week, maybe by 30 days. I think I have 30-day options. Let's go, Bobby. So when you come to these stations, I told you there's basically 2 types. Well, there's 3 types, honestly. There's the type that's going to have a cargo level on it, and that's what these outside the planet. I'll go over here and look out the window real quick so you can see, or maybe not. Yeah, we are outside New Babbage. These are the orbital stations, the big ones that are outside the main planet. So this is Tressler, outside Microtech. So any of those orbital ones, they have a cargo deck, so that's where you'd want to go to rent. If you're on one of the other stations, like I started out on, like ARC L1 or whatever, one of those L1s, L2s, those are going to have refinery decks, and the refinery decks is where you can rent ships. So let's come over here. Cargo deck. Come up here. Excuse me, dude. All right, when you come out of this little area here, you just go over to the left. You look for cargo services here. The rest of that is just like set dressing, basically. It's showing you workers working in a cargo area. Nothing over there yet, but maybe one day there will be. So see, rentals right here. So you come over to this terminal. And they have various different ships. You can rent. This is a mole right here. This is a 3-person mining ship, or you can solo it as well. I have a nice build for that. Shows you what some good lasers. I will tell you though, for the ships the ships you rent, you cannot upgrade. You can't change the components on these. You wouldn't want to anyway because you would lose them. So they don't allow you to change the components. But if you ever own the mole, which you can earn in game through money, um, to own for your account, basically you can change those at that point. So we do have that one. The Nomad here. This is a nice little starter ship. It's like I call it a pickup truck. You can't see it from this model because it's kind of busted right here. But it has like a little bed in the back that's external, and so you can put quite a bit of cargo in there. It doesn't tell you how much in here, but I can't remember how much cargo it is. I think it's maybe I can't. I don't want to lie. I can't remember because I don't use the ship a lot. This is just a tractor beam ship. Don't waste your time with this one. This is for like moving cargo back and forth from like a big ship to a little ship or a big ship to. It's okay. This is one you may want to look at. This is the Cutlass Black. A lot of people grab this ship as an early rental because it can hold quite a bit more cargo. You can the little cargo bed in the back here. Honestly, let's look real quick, and I'll show you how to look at what you want because you don't know what you want, right? Um, let me pull up. Let me pull up a browser. All right, we got our browser open. So I've shown you before how you can. I've shown you before how you can look up ships, right? So instead of us, let's just that was the Drake Cutlass Black. So when you look at the Cutlass Black here, you can go down here and it shows you the cargo. It holds 46 SCU, okay? And I think it can hold all the boxes except the 32 SCU boxes, which you're not really concerned yourself with on these. But so we could rent this ship right here and we would get a ship that can hold 46. This ship also has pretty decent guns for it, so you could actually do some bigger bounties if you wanted to. That's something else you could do. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the game. All right, take a look at some of the other ships. And by the way, let me go back to that Cutlass real quick. So if you did it for one day, it is 52,000 credits. That's how much it would cost for a single day. You could easily make that back in a few missions, though. You can do 3 days. How much would 3 days cost? It's not changing. It's supposed to change the price, I think. You can tell I rent a lot of ships, right? Anyway, I would do it for one day, run it for that, and then you could go and you could buy the ship in game. The ship's not very expensive in game; it's a few million. So yeah, it's definitely a good ship to try out. What else we got? We have the Cutter. That's a starter ship. You may already own that one. The Freelancer Max holds a lot more cargo. I want to say it's like maybe 80 to 90. I'm not a fan of this ship. It's an older ship, and I don't care for the looks or the way it flies. And then this could be your first mining ship that you try out. This is a solo person prospector, 73,000. I can tell you right now, if you go out and do mining at all for a few hours, you are going to make more money than that easily. We'll get into mining. We'll actually maybe rent one of these and do that one time. But yes, that is definitely options for you. These are the ships you can rent. It's not a lot, but it gives you a little bit of mining. It gives you everything. I'm kind of surprised they don't have the Vulture here. Maybe that's at the refinery station. We'll have to look whenever we go to one to see what they have. But yeah, you get your choice of a couple of cargo haulers. This is a cargo deck, so maybe the refinery does have the salvage ship, but it has the mole, which is weird. It has the mining ships. But yeah, it gives you some options for cargo or mining if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to pick one of those up right now, but yeah, so that's a way you can try a different ship out. And right now, currently, it's the week of February. It's the week of Valentine's Day, so February 12th through I think the following week or two, they're doing a free flyer right now. So if you don't own ships, they're actually letting you try out I think 4 or 5 ships. I don't remember what the ships are, but it's a few. You get to try a few things out. I think the mold is actually one of them you can try out, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw the raft and the mole or something. The raft is a great cargo ship. I think it can hold 190 SCU. If you really enjoy cargo, I would highly recommend getting that ship in game. It's like 3 million money, in game money. So get that ship. All right, we're gonna go back before this video is done, and we are going to take another mission. We're going to do the delivery type of mission. Now we did cargo hauling, right? Remember, we look at our movie glass, F1, contracts, and they have delivery down here. So let's. It's like being sticky right now. Are you gonna let me get down there? Okay, there they are. All right. So we have a couple. We have couple different ones. This one here doesn't have rep. It just says FTL carriers. And this one here, Redwind Line Haul, they do have rep. Let's do this one. This is going to be more planetary, and it may have combat as well. So I'm going to accept it. I'm going to track it. And let's go ahead and get on board and do our thing. All right, so real quick before I get started, since this is possible combat, again, we want to be ready for anything, right? So you definitely want to have some sort of weapon on you. I have my parallax gun here. You want to have ammo on your chest, so I do have quite a bit of ammo here on my chest. The inventory that's coming out in March, so it could already be out now, and if it is, forgive this part. But the inventory that's coming out in March, it's going to be a lot easier to see what's on your body when you open the screen here. But this is the old way. You could easily just go run your mouse over it and you'll see it. You may want to have some more ammo here. I don't think this is not going to be heavy combat, so I think 4 or 5 on my chest is going to be plenty. All right, so let's go ahead and do our pre-flight and get out of here. All right, this is one of those ones where it's going to just let us jump directly to the site on the planet there. Although it says obstructed, so maybe not. Making a lie out of me. I tell you what I will try to do. I will try to jump straight down to Microtech. So that's the planet icon there. It's usually in the center of the planet. Sometimes you can just jump to that. You're not jumping into the planet. You're just jumping at what they call the perfect orbital spot, I guess you could call it. All right, now let's see if I can jump to it. Still says obstructed. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna hit F2. Scroll out, hit this right here. It's going to give me a route. It wants me to jump to an OM first and then the quantum beacon. That's fine. Oh no, it went away. All right. Well, it wants me to jump to an OM. I'll just jump to an OM. So find that little icon there. All right. Oh, that's why it's going to. Oh, wait. This is a. I thought we were going on the planet. No. This is going to be probably out in the middle of nowhere. Or is it going to the moon? It's hard to tell. It doesn't like the moon icon. Okay. So we're 9 kilometers out. I would recommend holding B and changing into your weapons mode. This will pull up your shields. You should see your shield starting to come up around up here in this corner. I don't see my shields coming up. They are on there. Maybe they just take a minute to load. If you have any extra pips right here, put them into weapons. If it'll let you. Oh, I do have a contact. Okay, so when you have a contact, push T. It's a prospector, which is not really not really a fighting ship. It's weird I don't have. Okay. It's got 2 pips here, but it's not letting me put them in. That's crazy. Alright. I did not change my weapons on this ship. Last week we talked about, setting up your ships or whatever, and I didn't do it. Okay, so when you're coming in and you want to target somebody, you just push T. If another target pops up, you just push T again, and it'll switch between the targets. There are other keys you can do to where you can lock on the targets. You can pin targets for marking purposes. There's all kinds of things you can do. We're not getting into combat right now. When we do, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But you cannot open fire on them, or you can with missiles. So let's do our middle mouse wheel. That's going to give us missile mode. You can hit G, and that's going to let you line up 2 missiles. As you see, it changed from 3. You can go up to 4. I'm going to just do 2 though. The more times you hit it, once they get usually within like less than 7 or whatever, you can go ahead and fire your missiles. There you go. You want to hit your middle mouse wheel to go back into your gun mode. You have to hit it twice. Now, as you can see, my cursor is all erratic, right? It's because we hit G to get those missiles going. So hit G again, and it'll get your thing from being erratic. All right. So once we get within around 1,500 or less kilometers, we can start firing. You're going to see the reticle change. All right. This is going to be easy combat. Don't freak out. Just get there. You do go slower with your stuff on. My shields do not look like they're on. Like usually you have like a bubble around your ship, and I just don't have that. All right. So as you can see, we can start shooting this guy now. So nice and easy. Stay back. Follow that. As long as you see green, you can shoot. You're hitting them. Okay. He's not going to be a super threat. The server's a little janky right now, so if you see the ship skip around a little bit, that's why. Yeah, see, he just skipped. All right. Yeah, I knew the server was kind of bad when I got on it. All right. Something else you can do I don't recommend right now for a ship like this, but a bigger ship. If you're fighting a bigger ship, you can right click the mouse and you get this where you can aim for specific. See how it highlights red? So you could aim for specific ship parts. So if you know the ship well enough and you know like the power plant is at the rear or whatever. Then yeah, I'm not going to do that though. He's hitting me a lot. Alright, let's get him done. You see how red he's getting over there? My little icon on the right side there. And see, at some point the ship may stop. That means they're having issues, right? Because we have engineering in the game. So they're having some serious issues right now. Like I've blown off something. So you can sit here and just finish them off while they're pretty much disabled. There we go. All right. The good thing about some of these things that after you disable them like that is you can go in and they could possibly have cargo. So if you have a cargo ship, you could get some bonuses here by doing that. So it's kind of cool, right? This is a mining ship, like I said. So like maybe these bags here could possibly have something. They probably don't. And you'd have to, I don't think you can scan those bags, so you'd have to actually take them back with you and possibly get stuff. All right, so this mission here, even though we had to fight, we're here to pick up a package. So let's go fly over to it, which is pretty close. You can see it right there. Okay, let's get here. Looks like we got debris here, so apparently that ship disabled this ship. So our mission here was to get this package, but the first thing we had to do, of course, was to disable the enemy who did this. They purposely made these somewhat easy, so gives you a little bit of combat practice. Oh yeah, my ship has. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna face it so I can. And you can turn your lights on too. So hit L. Yeah, see, so you can illuminate the situation. So I'm gonna do that. We're safe now. There's no more ships attacking. You can ping the area by hitting tab. And so long as you don't see any red markers or anything, any movement, you're good to get out of your ship. Make sure you leave your shields on while you're out, always. You never know if you shouldn't run into a player out here, but if you were on the planet maybe and you were leaving your ship, keep your shields on. I know some of my people in my Discord are going to laugh because they know I'm so bad about putting my shields on. And, oh, that's the pot calling the kettle black. And they ain't wrong. No, I'm notorious for flying without shields. I could have got closer, but all right, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna try try to get in here somehow to get this package. I don't know if these doors open. I can't believe they have doors honestly at all. Okay, so maybe I can't go in that way. Don't want to go through the mesh, that's for sure. Oh, wait, there's a hatch down here, it looks like. Oh, all right. And there's our package, okay? You need your tractor beam. It might be stuck because it wants you to kind of pull it a certain way or something. Attach. Come on, come on. Maybe I have to do it from a different. Let me try the other side. Looked like it was open over here. Yeah. Oh yeah, right there. Oh, back up. Oh yeah, see there's a little arrow, a little red arrow telling you to pull it. There we go. Yank it out of its its little holding position. Wait, that's not my ship. Where's my ship? Look for your blue marker. Where the heck is my ship at? See debris. Debris. Oh, there it is. Jeez. See? It's wide open, right? Physicalized. Wide open spaces. Should open my ramp already. Yeah, let me leave that there for a second. Can't believe I risked my life for quarantine. Jeez. That's the let's raise the elevator. Get off of it. Stop. Why am I still going? Go the other way. My ramp. Man, I really should have come out the ramp. That would have been easier. Open. Alright, let's get our box and get it inside. Alright, should lock onto the grid. Yep, see it locks on, that's good. Close it. And let's go take this to wherever it needs to be dropped off at. For whatever reason, corundum is a basic, it's a basic mineable, like super basic. So for whatever reason, they wanted us to risk life, limb, and ship for a small, tiny box of corundum. This is like the equivalent of being an Uber driver and, you go into like a grocery store to pick up toothpicks or something. But this person wants to pay us to do it. So, alright, turn the lights off. Alright, so that was that. Let's go back to travel mode by holding B. Let's hit our map. I would say if you see more delivery missions pop up after this one and the price, like the reward goes up drastically, then it's going to be a harder mission and you're going to have to fight multiple targets maybe. So just be aware of that. So look at the mission. It only paid 29,000. If the mission suddenly jumps up to 50, 60, 100,000, there's going to be more ships. That's kind of a way you're going to know that. And, you can always get there, see that it's too hard, and get the heck out of there. You could do that. Let's go back to our map. Let's zoom out. Let's see. Let's click on the drop off. It's called Humboldt Mines. Oh, it's way far, too. Alright, let me just put it in because I know that. Humboldt Mines. Yeah, it's 50-something ground miles away. It's pretty far. Yeah, it doesn't want to let us jump straight there. It doesn't want to let us put the coordinates in from out here. So let's find the icon. Let's start the jump. See, I told you, you're always going to have map issues until they revamp it or whatever they're going to do. It used to be a lot worse, believe it or not. So like I said, if you can't jump, just start jumping towards it. Try to jump towards something in that vicinity. There. It's like conflicting here. Just any jump. It doesn't have to be super far. Just do any jump. Okay. Alright, so we started a jump. Now we can probably just stop it here by holding your mouse again. Okay. Now let's see if we can get Humboldt Mines to pop up. Humboldt Mines, click it. See, now the route's available. Yeah, see, that's all it took. Just a quick jump. Now, You don't have all those other icons that it's fighting for here. It's the one we need. And we can jump. So I will say, I mean, you already know, but the game has lots of bugs, right? But they're usually not game breaking bugs. Game breaking bugs are a priority for them. So if it's something that's going to keep or prevent you from accomplishing something, those are the ones they will hit hard. I will say that probably 90% of the bugs that we have, there's workarounds. It's just about knowing what the workaround is. So if you know the workaround, you're good. Like this one here, quick workaround was just to jump for a few seconds, jump out, and then set your route again. It works. Anyway, I'm gonna fast forward this part. All right, we are at our big jump is over. Let's go ahead and. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, sorry. It's like circling around, trying to chase my tail because the icon I was chasing is for the box that's in the cargo. All right. Let's make this jump down. So this is going to be interesting because we're dropping off at another place, this Humboldt Mines place. They should not send you to a place that's going to be hostile to drop these off. I'm saying should. I'm not saying it can't happen for some reason. My advice is once you're like 10k out, put your shields on, just to be safe. Just in case they start shooting, it'll give you an opportunity to get out of there. Because some of these ground locations will have turrets that could eat your ship up pretty fast if you don't have your shields on. It's not like I talk from experience or anything. Alright, let's go down. Alright, 10k out. I'm holding B to switch modes. Of course, you go slower when you do that, so I can raise my cap speed here. I put my shields up too because I honestly do not know this place. I've been here before, but it's been a while. Alright, see how it's kind of hidden in there too? It's kind of crazy. And yeah, it looks like it's a... Oh, it's just like a small place. Okay. It's like a little small outpost. It doesn't have a place for you to land and refuel or anything. So, okay. Alright, you'll get to know these two. Alright, let's put our landing gear up. It doesn't have any guns, so that you don't have to worry about that if you happen to get this place. Let me land over here where it's flat. Kind of want to look at your surroundings a little bit so you know where to land. Alright. Nice and easy. Alright. Still want to have your shields on though, because I'm leaving the ship, and this is an easy spot other players could reach. So this is a place that players could, possibly. You can run into players, and they could decide, hey, it's time to pirate, or it's just time to blow you up. I will say that I do not run into a lot of PvP entanglements, so although it can happen anywhere, the place it's getting really big. Where's the box? Oh, dang, it's right there in the dark. You can also do small boxes that I got here. This is called a 1/8 SEU box. It doesn't even take up a full square, These you can actually hold in your hand and carry them. So you can walk over and hit carry. So you can walk out of here looking all cool. See? Maybe hit F4, swing the camera around, holding F4 and moving your mouse. And take you a nice little screenshot here. See? There you go. All right. Let's take this back inside. Okay. These little outposts can have little boxes. They shouldn't be outside, although I wish they were, but they can have boxes inside. So if you see little gray or red boxes inside, check them out. This is a pressurized room. You had to hit that. Okay, so sometimes you have to drop them off in these orange boxes. If you see the icon over there, it says drop off over there, that yellow icon. So if you don't see that, it could be in this. This is a drop off kiosk, Kovalex drop off kiosk. So if it was, you would just push the button for drop off. That little door would open and you'd place the box inside, but this one's different. So let's come over here, looking around to see if there's any boxes to open. Nope, that's not one. Sometimes in these rooms there are. Oh, there's one right there, I think. Okay, and right here it says drop off, so we're just going to come over to the shelf and hit F to place. All right, we've dropped them off. Object complete. They got their corn. We got our pay. We may also get a little loot out of here. It says loot, but that's just F to loot. Opens this up. So you can shift click these items and you would throw these right in your bag, or you can click this little arrow right here that gives you your traditional inventory screen you're used to. You may want the water, so you can take that if you wanted. That right there it's a collectible. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about it briefly in just a second once I get out of this room. And these are flares. Grab some of these if you want, because if you go to caves, you can actually drop those down so you can have lights inside the cave to kind of mark your path. It's a nice little tip there. Check the other rooms while you're in here, see if there's any more boxes. There could be like a box up here on top of this. There's a little room here. Let's look in here. Yeah, they could have a box in here as well that you could do. None of these are, you can't click on any of those. This isn't like a Bethesda game like Fallout or Elder Scrolls where you can open everything in here. So that's both a blessing and a curse. All right, and I don't see any other boxes here for us to loot, so that's fine. We got to cycle again to get out of here. This is a pressurized room. It's going to close that door, pressurize or repressurize, unpressurize, depressurize. Nothing else really here. It'd be cool if they actually have some boxes around here. A lot of ground locations now are getting like they're putting loot boxes outside, but this isn't really a loot location. So, all right, let's get back over to our ship. But due to the sandbox nature of this game, this little area right here could suddenly become like a war zone. If they do an event that makes this a hot spot to pick up or drop off, it could cause players that are looking for other players to interact with to be here. Both good and bad. It could be bad players. It could be, that are people that are waiting just to ambush you when you go into these places. It could also trigger people that are wanting to protect those people, so they could be here as well. We've seen outposts, maybe not like this, but we've seen locations turn into full-out war zones for weeks because, they're hotspots and, both sides of the law will go there. Here, while I'm standing here in this nice open area, let me hit F1 real quick because we did finish another mission. I told you about that route that was inside, so there's these collection missions up here. So there's an alien named Wicklow. I say guy. There's an alien named Wicklow. You can do his stuff. So if you click on his missions, he wants you to bring him a water and 3 tundra copion horns. If you don't know where these horns are, they do have, these are animals and they want you to go kill them and snatch the horns off of them. Then there's also the Rayari Incorporated. Now these guys, they want some simple things. Sometimes they want copion horns too. But they also will take other things like minables or revenant pods. So that little fruit or whatever, that vegetable or root thing that was inside of there, that could be one of the things that this place wants, or even that Wicklow. I don't think Wicklow wants those, but yeah. So there's different things here that you're going to be able to go out and get. These are like basically fetch quests. I'll show you a place maybe in the next video where we can do some of these. We'll try out some of these. And I'll show you like where you can go to get some of this stuff because a lot of it can be found pretty easily. And so we could go get it and then just go turn these in. But yeah, those are kind of simple quests there. So, but as far as the quests that we did today, so we did hauling and we did a delivery. We didn't get any new deliveries. I mean, that's basically the same thing. Go to a rec site and then deliver the package. This one here is a little different. So it's pretty much the same thing. There are going to be more delivery missions like that coming soon. We had a bunch of older ones and they're coming back. The investigation missions are kind of similar, except for anything that says Jorat dossier at Onyx stuff. These are really good missions, but they are meant for more of a group. So that you can expect once you get better at FPS and you feel comfortable taking on multiple targets, this would be a good thing to try out. But locating a missing person, this is kind of cool. You just basically for this one, they want you to go fly out to a wreck site and find this person. Now, the wreck site's probably going to have some people, maybe some NPCs on the ground. They're going to try to shoot you, or if it's in space, they may try to shoot you, your ship, like we just encountered. But it's a low cost one, so it shouldn't be too hard. So if you want to check out those investigation missions, they're kind of similar in this vein to something solo that's going to be easy, minimal combat, and some okay rewards, and maybe things to build on. You've also got bounty hunter missions here. We may actually do some bounty hunting. We may do some bounty hunting on maybe the next video. I'm kind of deciding which one we're going to go with. We may do more. We may try some of these collection missions first before we jump into any combat. But yeah, because mercenary and bounty hunting is a whole other thing that we can talk about. The good thing about these, though, if you want to check these out before we actually get into that, is there's this Gilly's Flight School under the mercenary tab. And so you start with scenario 1. It's going to give you a basic, these are all the scenarios it has. It has 8. You're not going to be able to do all of these on your own because some of them start getting harder where you need to have bigger ships because there is Corvette with escorts and capital ship encounters, and those are going to require multiple players in a big ship to do. But yeah, you can get through like at least maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 to 6. You could probably get through all 6 of those. These are basically it's flight school. It's just teaching you. It's going to give you little tips on what to look for, and like if you do multiple targets. The third one is target priority. So you want to go for the one that's going to hurt you the most before the others can finish you off or whatever. So Combat Gilly School is a good one to do, which we'll get into later. But yeah, this is just an overview of the easy missions to get you started. Definitely start doing these hauling missions. Again, this is going to give you lots of practice with knowing where things are and just getting used to the mechanics of the game. Highly recommended. And then, yeah, we'll work on mining as well at another point. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure, if you've done some of these, make sure you go back and refuel your ship and everything. My ship's kind of low on fuel right now, so I'm going to have to go do that. But anyway, let's see here real quick. I'll just put it right here. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this class. I've been Black. If you enjoyed any of this, make sure you like, subscribe, and all that stuff. If you want to join our Discord and actually get more real-time questions answered, make sure you do that. Link will be down below. Anyway, take care, guys, and we'll see you next time.